I'm not gonna say that I expected to lose, but I think they expected me to lose. I think I was brought in to lose. I just bit down on my mouthpiece and just went forward. Fought my fight. That's what won me the fight. I made him fight my fight. I wasn't fighting, his fight.
Christopher de Santiago with MMA Island. Leaving the sport on a 3-fight win streak, we're talking to pure UFC Flyweight champion and 25-fight veteran, the Hall of Famer Jacob Silva. After his retirement fight on Sunday, Jacob, how's it going today, man?
Man, it's going great, man. Blessed. My morning started at 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to take my daughter to school. She's on varsity cross country, so she had to be there at 6. Took her to school, came back home, got my son ready, took him to freaking daycare, dropped him off. Then I showed up at work at 7. Now back to living the day-to-day life.
I want to congratulate you on an amazing career, man. I mean, 25 fights against some top competition on the regional scene. The commentator said that this was like the best Jacob Silva that we've ever seen. I guess, how do you feel about what you did out there against a top prospect in Paris Moran, man?
Uh, Man, I feel amazing. To be honest, I did better than what I was thinking I was gonna do. Cause Paris is good. I mean, he's top 5 in the nation or something like that, right? Uh, he's good. So I didn't think I would do that well against him. Um, but I just bit down on my mouthpiece and just went forward. Fought my fight. I think that's what won me the fight was that I made him fight my fight. I wasn't fighting, his fight. Um, so I feel good though, man. It was a badass fight. It was my type of fight.
His only losses are to current UFC fighters in Alden Correa and Joshua Van, who's a top contender. I guess you said that you expected to lose. I feel like going in. How did you overcome those feelings of being counted out?
Uh, Bro, I'm not gonna say that I expected to lose, but I think they expected me to lose. I think I was brought in to lose because I've been on a 3-fight win streak before, and during that time frame, Paris was the champ also. So when I had asked for the title fight, they asked me to fight one more time. That's when I fought Shamik Harvey, and I lost that fight by a decision, right? So then I lost that fight. Then I fought Luis Gurule. I think that's his last name. And then I got choked out in that fight. Um, so now I lost those 2 fights, right, back to back. Then I've only won 2 fights, in a row against the Longoria guy and the guy Eddie Fraude, which were both,
Mhm.
good guys, up and coming guys. So I did win those fights. And then when Eric had offered me the fight against Paris, um, I didn't think I deserved the fight at that time. Only because Arden was still available. He wasn't signed to the UFC yet. Nick Pinicini was still there. There's a couple guys that I think should have gotten the call, but Eric said they all said no. So I like fuck it. I'll take it. Yeah, yes. Come on with it. And and I know Paris. He's not a finisher. Um, and I love fighting the distance if I have to, right? Just my downfall is I don't win decisions, right? So uh I knew the fight would go the distance, and I knew as it went on, I knew as it went on, it would benefit me more. And the first second round, he took me down. He did great, but he couldn't really keep me down. So then after that, it was just grinding, just pressure, just attacking. My cardio was fucking on point. I don't know what it was, man, but my cardio was good. So I don't know what the question was, but yeah.
Awesome, man. I've got a two-part question for you. Did you know? I know you have a baby on the way. Did you know that this fight was going to be your last one going in? I guess what were the emotions like in the cage after retiring, man?
So yes, I didn't know this would be my last fight. Um, only because I was like, well, if I lose, then what am I fighting for now, right? Uh, like I'm not gonna be fighting for a paycheck. On the regional scenes, you don't really make that much money, okay? So, and then I was like, well, if I win, uh, you know, what's next at this point? Like, still fighting for a paycheck, I've already spoken to Mick. He's a matchmaker for the flyweight division. He told me there was no chance. I sent him a message. I said, hey, what's the chance? It was maybe last year. I said, hey, what's the chance of me making it to the UFC? I'm on a 3-fight win streak. He was like, to be honest, he said, not a chance. I said, all right, cool, right? And then my brother, Derek Lewis, I was talking to him, and he was like, hey man, he was like, I spoke to Dana also. He was like, Dana said your age and your record is, he like you probably won't get the call. I said, all right, cool, right? So with me knowing that, um, it was like, okay, like what am I really fighting for now? Like, a few $1,000s. I have a son. He's a year and a half. Bro, he's a year and 8 months. My wife's pregnant now. Uh, like fighting takes a toll on everybody. I don't know if you have kids or not, Chris, but you know, it's it's a lot on the family. It's a lot on me mentally. Uh, if I was making more money, then yeah, I probably would stay and maybe finish out this contract because I do have one fight on this contract. But I mean, it's I'm not going to be fighting just for a fucking paycheck at this point. But and then my emotions were crazy, man. As I was walking out, because I knew it was gonna be my last fight. I just stood there and I just absorbed all the crowd, right? The crowd energy, and then my coach saw Solis. He also passed August 17th, a couple of years ago. Due to COVID. So it just happened that I'm fighting on his anniversary, right? So uh just walking out, without him again, that kind of fucked me also. And then me knowing it's gonna be my last fight, that that was on top of that, right? So it was just a lot. I had to really keep it together. And then fighting a fucking badass guy like Paris, I like, oh, like this could be a fucking war, and it was. So yeah.
Awesome, man. You fought Eric Shelton, Paris Moran, CJ Vergara, JP Bias, Jeff Molina, Luis Gurule. I mean, what does it say about you to fight the level of competition for the amount of years that you did?
Man, I've been fighting a lot of people. I fought Roberto Sanchez. He fought in the UFC. I fought Ricky Turcios, even though we were amateurs, but I still fought him, right? Uh, uh, Luis Gurule, he's in the UFC now, man. Bro, I think I should be there. I just, decisions, they fucking get the best of me, man. And is what it is. Uh, uh you know, Jeffrey Molina, that was a split decision that I mean, it could have been, both ways, right? The JP Bias fight, I got fucked, but I was also defending sub attempts like crazy, right? But is what it is, right? My man CJ, that fight was a war. It could have went, either way. They could have stopped it in the first or the second. It was a badass fight, man. Uh, I mean, I know that I'm capable of fighting with the best of those guys even now. Um, it's just I know that the UFC is a business, right? So they're not looking for 37-year-old guys, 14 and 11 record fighters, right? Yeah, they might be looking for exciting fighters like myself, but as a business, from looking at it from a business standpoint, you know, how much money can they generate off of a 37-year-old fighter? not that much, I don't think. So I'm just being as realistic as possible. You know, I don't think that the UFC would call. I don't think maybe a contender series call would come just because, right? Just to like fill in the gap. But that's about it though. But I mean, I think I could stand, with the best of those guys even now.
Who do you think gave you the toughest fight of your 25 fight career, man?
For sure, for sure. Um, CJ Vergara, that was the craziest fight. And the guy Albert Trujillo, that guy, his pressure was crazy, man. His pressure. There was a point in the fight where I was like, fuck, like this guy just won't stop coming. And uh I will say that that you know that I probably didn't train the best for that fight. I probably shouldn't have taken the fight in Dallas also, right? You know, my training camp wasn't that great for that fight. No excuse. I did good in the fight, but his pressure was just tough. Like, uh, I want to say at one point he probably broke me. Like I was like, fuck, like just give me time to breathe. You know, but either CJ because we were just bloody, right? That fight was like fun. Albert, that was a tough pace fight, and um, my last fight, Paris, that fight was game chess, or it was like a chess match. To be honest, it was good. He's tall, southpaw. He was good. His wrestling is good. I'm scrappy. I'm strong. Explosive. So it was a lot of like, you know, baiting. Do this, do that. It was a lot of So really those three fights. But if I had to say the most toughest fight was probably CJ. Man, that guy cracks, and he put me out too. So kudos to him. We're friends now though. We talk. So
Nice.
it's tough.
Hmm. Did you leave the sport with any regrets?
Uh, nah, man, I don't have any regrets. My, I guess I could say the only thing is that I was never able to be 2 feet in. It was always 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I know most fighters they're 2 feet in and into like the fight game. In my case, it was always family, work, school, then training, right? So it was just I was never 2 feet in. The only time I was 2 feet in was during COVID because I didn't have to work, right? It was like like hey, might as well train twice a day, go run, but I'm not doing anything. But I guess if any regrets, it would be that I could have been 2 feet in the at the start of my career because my whole career I've only trained 1 or maybe max 2 hours a day. That was it. It was never like train, 2 sessions a day, do strength and conditioning, then go do MMA or boxing or something. It was only uh, you know, MMA, like 2 hours a day. That was it. So, and I mean, even now, I still train. I get off work at 3, pick up my daughter, train from 5 to 6, and then maybe some days, Tuesday, Monday to Wednesday, I'll train from 5 to 7, and that's it. I don't have a lot of time because I have a family at the house, man. I have to be at work. I mean, I have to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning the next day. For my dad duties. So no regrets though. But I wish I could have been 2 feet in. But I wasn't dealt with those cards. So I just made the best of what I was dealt.
Mm. It's great to see that you said that you're still going to be training. Have you thought about more about life after fighting and what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, and I guess what does your day to day look like now that you're not going to be fighting another man in the cage?
Well, I mean, so I still plan on fighting. I still not sorry. I still plan on training. Because I have teammates that they have tough fights coming up. At 4 Ounce Fight Club, we have a lot of 125ers. Alden, he has a tough fight coming up. On UFC Norte, Josh, he has the title fight at the end of the year. So I'll probably take off 3 weeks or something until my cuts heal, and then I'll be back, in the gym. And then I mean, Eric Garcia, he wants me to keep on fighting. He already offered me a fight. I'm like
Wow.
like
How does that make you feel?
I mean, you know, I dig it, right? You know what I mean? It's understandable, but I don't know. I mean, it takes a lot. It's fighting. It takes a lot. I don't know if you've ever fought or trained or anything in the past, or if you're just a fan or not. But I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of dedication from me, a lot of dedication from my family, also, right? So November, it's quite a way away, but as of now, I'm done. I kind of checked out. Like all right, it is what it is.
Do you feel like people overlooked you for your record? Because I feel like with that last fight, you did prove that you are a lot better than what your record shows out there.
Um, yeah, I think people they underestimate me a lot. Uh, Even with the Longoria fight, I was the fucking underdog, right? Like, which is crazy, But and then my last fight, not the one with Paris, but the one against Eddie Friday, Friday. I think I was the freaking underdog also. And then my last fight against Paris. I mean, yeah, I was underdog, but right, but that fight makes sense why I should have been, right. He's 12-2, 12-3. I was 13-11, 37 years old. I should have been the fucking underdog, right. I wasn't supposed to win that fight, but you know, we're two different types of fighters. I mean, I said in the past, I'm like, yeah, we're kind of the same because like we're both technically good, but he's a technical fighter. I'm like a mean fighter, if that even fucking makes sense, right? Uh, but I mean, I don't care that people count me out, right? Is what it is what it is.
Awesome, Jacob. Well, I think that's all the questions I had for you, man. I just want to thank you again for the time. Congratulate you on an amazing career, man. Is there anything that you want to say to the fans out there watching as you ride off into the sunset?
Nah, hey man, just go back, watch my fights. I've been doing this for a long time, man. I fought a lot of UFC fighters. I fought a lot of guys. I know that in Houston, everyone knows Jacob. Not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but every time I fight, I try to give the fan uh, a fight to remember. I think I'm a entertainer, uh, you know, which is what most people want to see. I don't know, man. Hey, just thank you. This ride been fun. This ride been fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it just as much as me. What the heck just happened? Oh, I don't know. It's
Oh, you're good.
the screen cut off. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully y'all enjoy my fights as much as I did. I just wish I was in your shoes. Watching from the outside in. But till then, hey, never know. Might see me in no November. Gotta see if the money's right.